Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2011 School of Policy, Planning and Development Commencement. I am Carol Rush, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Please rise and welcome the class of 2011. The procession is now entering our venue. It is led by flag bearers Howard Few, our valedictorian, and Rebecca May, President of the Undergraduates of Policy, Planning and Development. Following the flag bearers are the faculty, led by Dean Jack Knott, the faculty leadership, and our commencement speakers. Vice Dean Elizabeth Grady, Senior Associate Dean Genevieve Giuliano, Director of the Undergraduate Program David Sloan, Faculty Council Chair Dowell Myers, Commencement Speaker Sheriff Leroy Baca, and Alumni Association President Michael Lowe. Now entering the venue are the graduates. This morning, we celebrate the accomplishments of approximately 200 students who've completed the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning.
Could everybody please be seated? Good morning, everyone, and welcome each and every one of you to our graduation ceremony for the class of 2011. My name is Jack Knott, and I'm the Dean of the USC School of Policy, Planning, and Development. Before we begin, I have just a couple announcements. Please do not stand in the aisles or on the ledge for your own safety and the safety of those around you. For those of you sitting in the back, please note that there are monitors along the side of the tent. Also, we have an official photographer here today, and there will be additional photo opportunities after the ceremony. So I want to begin by offering my hearty congratulations to the graduating class of 2011. It's my great pleasure to be here on this momentous occasion and to celebrate this important milestone for each of you. I would also like to especially thank the parents, friends, and relatives for joining us today, especially those who have traveled a long way to be here. I want to thank the families who have provided financial and other support for their students. Your support and encouragement has been essential and is deeply appreciated. Let's give a rousing applause to all of our students' families. And I also want to thank the faculty and staff who have worked hard and dedicated themselves to providing you with the best education. Would the faculty and staff please stand and join me in thanking them for their service? Faculty and staff. I would also like to acknowledge Dick DeBacus and his wife, Bryn. Dick is a member of the USC Board of Trustees and former president of the USC Alumni Association and graduate of our school. Dick's two children, Brittany and Richie, are also graduates of SPPD, and their daughter, Carly, is a student at SPPD, so a true SPPD and Trojan family. Dick and Bryn, if you are here, would you please stand? Also, we take great pride in the diversity of our student population. Our school enrolls about 1,500 undergraduate and graduate students. They come from nearly every state in the United States and from over 30 countries around the world, several of whom have family, friends, and loved ones in Japan or in the southern part of the United States, both areas devastated by recent natural disasters. We would like to show our support for all those affected by the severe tornadoes and floods in the south and earthquakes in Japan. Please join us in taking a moment of silence for the victims and for everyone who has endured trauma and loss at the hands of these tragedies. Thank you. To our graduates today, I certainly commend you for this shining achievement, but I also want to thank you. You have enriched all of our lives. We have learned from you as you have learned from us. You have brought energy, ideas, passion, and hope for the future to our school. As a USC student, you are graduating from one of the very best research universities in the country and the world. And our school, the School of Policy, Planning, and Development, is one of the oldest and one of the highest ranking public policy schools in the entire nation. We first opened our doors in 1929. The school's founding was truly groundbreaking for the fields of public administration and urban planning. At the time, we became only one of 2 schools in the country offering these degrees. From the very beginning, the school was committed to excellence and innovation. And today, the USC School of Policy, Planning, and Development continues this legacy, serving as a model for interdisciplinary education and ranking among the top 10 policy schools nationwide. Over the past 8 decades, our school has distinguished itself as a great institution that has made a vital impact not only in scholarship and in research and in education, but also in public service. We have students who want to gain the best education, but who also want to make a positive, profound impact in the world by tackling some of the most complex policy issues and by planning and developing better communities for the future. And that is essentially what our school is all about. Our students, faculty, and alumni tackle such issues as economic development, effective governance, nonprofit management, homeland security, healthcare reform, healthy communities, social policy, infrastructure and transportation, environmental and financial sustainability, and the real estate and housing markets, all major issues facing our country and the world. You should be especially proud today because of the accomplishments and contributions you have made while students at USC. First, you have produced first-rate academic papers and projects and won awards and fellowships. Second, many of you have engaged actively with the community, not just remained in the classroom. You have conducted research projects for real-world clients, and many have participated in internships, externships, and networking events. Third, you have developed as individuals with important interpersonal and leadership skills, public service values, and a much stronger sense of who you are and what you want to be. In short, you have advanced the mission of our school by serving as committed learners and researchers in your fields of study and as important ambassadors to the community and committed individuals engaged in the life of our school. Now, the moment has arrived for you to leave us and make your way through the new and exciting professional challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Today, you will graduate and become USC alumni. SPPD alone has more than 16,000 domestic and international alumni in 46 countries around the world. So you're joining a great worldwide family of alumni from this school. Our alumni have gone on to make a vital difference. They have started their own foundations and companies, planned new communities, served as presidents of volunteer organizations, served as mayors and council members, run political campaigns, managed public and nonprofit agencies, made movies, played sports, served as ambassadors, and defended our country. Our alumni have also made a difference each day in their role as industrial and commercial real estate developers and home builders, consultants with national consulting firms, policy analysts at the national, state, and local level, healthcare managers managing some of our state's most complex healthcare organizations, and federal government officials, including Hilda Solis, who currently serves in President Obama's cabinet as Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor. She proudly displays her SPPD diploma in her office. Or Alan Hoffman, Chief Deputy of Staff to Vice President Joe Biden, who recently recounted to us the advantages of his SPPD degree that it has afforded him. We hope you will maintain strong ties to USC and to our school as you move forward in life as alumni and as members of the Trojan family, which, as you know, is one of the most powerful and engaged university networks in the world. The Trojan family will support you and help you in a variety of ways. The Trojan family is formed through a common background, and it grows through the commitment of members one to another. There will be many occasions for you to give back to our school and to the university. You can serve as volunteers and career mentors and hopefully as future employers for future students. You can join our school's Athenian Society, our premier philanthropic organization, or attend our annual Alumni Guardian Awards dinner where we honor our distinguished alumni. So we look forward to continuing a relationship with you. As new students join our program in the future, they will look to you, our recent alumni, for their inspiration. I conclude with two quotes, one from Marian Anderson, an acclaimed vocalist and prominent figure in the civil rights movement, who observed that leadership should be born out of the understanding of the needs of those who would be affected by it. And Harry S. Truman, President Harry S. Truman, also once pointed out that we make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. And I have every confidence that all of you, as SPPD graduates, that you are fully prepared and capable to be the courageous, skillful leaders that our society needs. You chose our school because you shared in our school's vision of a brighter future for communities everywhere. And now is your time to turn that vision into reality, to shape our world for the better, to change things for the better. Thus, in the years ahead, it is our hope that you, as our graduates and our alumni, will focus on making a difference for the common good, develop partnerships across the public, nonprofit, and private sectors to address society's major issues, create new healthcare programs while finding efficiencies that protect quality, promote energy and economic development policies that protect our environment, both locally and nationally, build organizations that value employees and stakeholders alike, develop residential and commercial real estate that promotes community, a sense of place, and infrastructure for a sustainable future, and work toward more inclusive definitions of community. I'm sure you will agree now that more than ever, it is critical to find solutions to society's biggest challenges and to develop exciting new opportunities for the future. This is fundamentally what your education at SPPD has prepared each of you to achieve. Congratulations once again. I'm very proud of you and look forward to your many accomplishments. Thank you. And at this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Leroy Baca. Through his career, Sheriff Baca has exemplified the strong commitment to public service that lies at the heart of our school. He commands the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the largest sheriff's department in the United States. It includes 18,000 sworn and professional staff and provides law enforcement to 40 incorporated cities, 140 unincorporated communities, 9 community colleges, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, and the Rapid Rail Transit District. The Sheriff's Department also oversees the nation's largest local jail system. Sheriff Baca serves as Director of the Homeland Security Mutual Aid for California Region 1, which includes Los Angeles and Orange counties, serving 13 million people. During his tenure, Sheriff Baca has worked diligently to address drug addiction, domestic violence, homelessness, gangs, illiteracy, and the quality of life in the communities and neighborhoods of Los Angeles. He founded the Public Trust Policing, which includes diverse advisory councils, a clergy council of more than 300 ministers, pastors, priests, rabbis, imams, and leaders of every faith. He operates 14 nonprofit youth centers, 10 regional training centers for at-risk youth, and one of law enforcement's largest prevention and intervention programs nationwide. In addition, Sheriff Baca is a proud member of the Trojan family. He earned his Master of Public Administration and Doctor of Public Administration from our school. In 2006, he received our school's Alumni Guardian Award in recognition for his tremendous record of service and for his contributions to our school, the community, and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sheriff Lee Baca.
Well, thank you very much. We're still in the morning time. Good morning. Is it a beautiful day, folks? I mean, this is so exciting for me to share this moment with you. And Dean Knott, thank you so much for your leadership, and the faculty that is here, thank you so much for your commitment. I do know you love your work, and the idea of bringing a better world to the rest of humanity is what this is all about. Students who are graduating, may the love of learning always be with your life. You never graduate from that prospect. That love of learning is part of who you are as a human being. Now, the parents and loved ones and faculty, friends, and all that are out in the audience, without you, this wouldn't be possible in many ways, because the support that you give for the children, and their rather adult children, by the way, is something that it's an emotional connection that cannot be described in terms of much other than your pure love for what your children's potential can possibly be with your support, whatever way it can come. So congratulations to you. Thank you. I want to say something about the 21st century when it comes to public service. The School of Public Policy and Planning certainly will give you many ideas. The graduates today are really, in my opinion, ready to go and have been going all along for those that are working in careers now. But we have obligations as a nation and as a society, and I'd like to talk about the unification of diversity. Diversity is real. The world is diverse, but Los Angeles in particular and USC are the examples of how diversity can unify for a single noble cause. But these future obligations of service, I believe, require several things, and I want to talk about three. I want to talk about high standards, not just doing work, but setting high standards. I want to talk about best effort. This isn't about just work. It's about doing your best every day that you live. And then finally, I want to talk about noble thoughts. There's a whole lot of opinions about government and government work and whether or not they're paid too much or whether or not they're doing the right thing, and on and on. But public service is something that is essential. And I believe that it requires us to reflect on the realities of what we enjoy when we travel throughout where we live and where we choose to live. That we always know what looks like quality, and we always know what isn't quality. And that is public should all be quality, in my opinion. And the nature of what the challenges are for people who have the degrees that your loved ones have, and for those of you that are holding these degrees. Your job is to represent government and its interest for what it truly is meant to be in the history of civilization. Nations were formed because tribes were warring with each other, and governments allowed for those tribes to unify. And then those tribes protected themselves from warring tribes that were adjoining where they were. And that's how the world of nations emerged, to protect the people first. And so there is an obligation to understand, what does it mean to protect a society? Well, it means so many different things. It's not just law enforcement. That's a small piece. It's the idea that all humanity must grow, and all humanity will never fail to grow, and that there has to be some organization of humanity. You cannot allow everybody to just decide which way we're going to grow. That's where government comes in. So therefore, you are the architects, you graduates. You are the architects of what the public good is. And the question is, how do we make it more personal as well as more professional, which results in better services and better public space? And I always marvel at what cities can do, a beautiful city hall and a beautiful park and a beautiful place for the public, and some cities are not concerned about this much at all. And the reality is that the public deserves quality. When you leave, you cannot live in your home 24/7. You must go out to the streets. and when holes are in streets and trees are not trimmed and schools are looking filthy and there seems to be neglect and deterioration, that's a reflection of government. That's a reflection that somewhere something is collapsing. And so it's incumbent upon us to always remember quality is difficult all the time. Quality is not something you just do and leave alone. That there's a perpetual obligation to take care of all that we have that is public. And thus the difficulty is always there. I ask that you think about setting such high standards like USC has here. The public space and the walkways are magnificently planned. The buildings, when new ones come up, they're pleasing to the eye. They have some sense of quality that we can't seem to forget. And as a result, the growth should be determined by how well we plan, how well we organize, and to what extent do we believe in quality. Now, quality, ironically, must come from each and every one of us as individuals. If you live a quality life, you will not accept something within your personal domain that is not of quality. That you will be fighting for what is best, for whatever resources we can derive to make something new and keep it as new as we can. Am I making any sense here? So what I'd like to say in my concluding remarks is that USC, as was said earlier by Jack, you are now going to leave USC, but let me tell you, USC is never going to leave you. It's in your heart. There's something about your achievement that I have received twice that when things are going bad, and you know, let's face it, I talk about high standard, best effort, noble thoughts. You can still be not too happy one day because you have all that. You know, life isn't perfect. But when I want to feel good, all I have to do is say, I think I get some criticism occasionally, by the way, in my public life. I just take a deep breath and think about my great days at USC. And I just say, well, you know what? I might go up and down in one way, but I'm always up on USC Day. So I want you to see this in one way today. If you remember nothing, I want you to unify diversity, because this is what the world is. That those that are in government services, do your best to not be a bureaucrat. Let me tell you, I whip on that Sheriff's Department bureaucracy pretty good. People deserve to be treated kindly, even if they're your critics, and it matters not what their perspective is. They're entitled to be treated with kindness, and therefore responsiveness is a part of kindness. If someone calls your office, it's the wrong office number, don't give them another number to call. You take their name and their phone number, and you call the number they were looking for, and then you have the person call them back. I've been down that road, and I still go down that road, and I don't want to be dealing with 30 calls. I want one. Now, in the end, and there is no end, everything you do, this is a theological point, everything you do in the world that you're going to, do it with love. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Baca. I am now pleased to introduce Howard Fu, SPPD's valedictorian. Today, Howard is receiving the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy Management and Planning with a concentration in public policy, as well as the bachelor's degree in International Relations with concentrations in Foreign Policy Analysis and Pacific Rim Affairs. He comes from Singapore, entered USC in the fall of 2007 as a freshman, and has distinguished himself as a leader and scholar over these last 4 years. Howard graduates today with honors and as our valedictorian. In addition to excelling in his classes, he has had many opportunities to put to practice his interest in international and public affairs. During the spring of 2010, he participated in the Washington semester, during which he was awarded the Washington Intern Scholarship by the USC Washington Alumni Club. And in Washington, he served as a political consulting intern with Beacon Consulting Group. The following summer, he served as an intern with the Embassy of Singapore in Washington, D.C., where he worked in the political section. And during this internship, he helped facilitate a visit by the President of Singapore. He also worked as an executive trainee with the public affairs section of Ogilvy Public Relations in Singapore. An active member of the USC student community, Howard has been elected as a senator to the USC Undergraduate Student Government and as Director of Finance with the USC Chinese Student Association. Howard?
Yes, Dean Ott's really tall. Good morning, Sheriff Baca, Dean Ott, distinguished faculty and staff, family and friends, and my fellow graduates of the class of 2011 at USC School of Public Policy, Planning and Development. Today, we gather and celebrate as we cross the finish line of our undergraduate education. And we are indeed honored today to have our loved ones, friends, and mentors join us at this joyous occasion. Yes, my friends, we made it. For me, this graduation takes on a special significance. I came to the United States of America in August 2007 from Singapore. I stepped into USC with mixed feelings. I was really excited to be at a place full of opportunities, yet I was a little apprehensive about the unfamiliar surroundings at the same time. I must admit, my first experiences at USC were a little nerve-wracking, like now. I remember at the end of the International Student Orientation, I saw my friends gather and leave for the business or engineering schools, while I stood alone in front of Bovard, waiting for someone to lead me to SPPD. I had to find my own way here eventually. As I walked here, I began thinking, what did I get myself into? Studying public policy alone in a foreign country? Who would I meet? What would I learn? Staying within my comfort zone would probably be an option if I chose to remain in Singapore. Since young, I was taught to follow instructions and accept as fact what my teachers told me. I was aptly prepared for standardized tests, yet I was clueless about taking initiative in exploring what lies beyond the curriculum. But SPPD taught me to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. Thank you. I had to overcome the sense of fear and anxiety of being in an unfamiliar place without my family and closest friends to quickly settle down and thrive in Los Angeles. It was an overwhelming experience for me. Yet, these 4 years have shaped my characters and perspectives in a way that I know I would never have achieved had I chosen the easy path. I learned that challenging the convention and bringing in new perspectives are integral to education. I was taught to ask questions without fear, as it is a multilateral learning process. I learned that the process of learning is most effective when you are thrown out of your comfort zone and venture into the unknown. So my fellow graduates, I implore you to stay out of your comfort zones and constantly challenge ourselves. The great German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "What doesn't kill you makes you a stronger person." Most of us here probably heard it from the great American artist Kanye West. The paths to our successes will undoubtedly be rugged and difficult, But if someone has to succeed, I doubt that there are many others out there who are as prepared as we are. The class of 2011 has much to brag about. We came to college at a defining period of history when we are fortunate enough to have lived through some of the most remarkable and memorable history of America and the world. We have lived through an entire economic recession, and I pray that we're out by now. We witnessed the election of America's first African-American president, Barack Obama, and even had him speak at our campus 2 years later. We saw the end of the war in Iraq. We saw groundbreaking legislation passed for healthcare. We got Osama bin Laden. In some way, our collective memories are characterized by historic experiences that this country thought was impossible just a few years ago or decades ago. Something like seeing Charlie Sheen leave 2.5 Men. While these events will forever forge the class of 2011 as a trailblazing batch of talents, we are well prepared and equipped by SPPD with knowledge, skills, and connections to accomplish great things. We will become trendsetting leaders who have unique, groundbreaking solutions to the problems of the world today. Looking back, it's been quite a journey. Late nights at Lever Library studying for exams, collaborating on class presentations with classmates, rushing to class with research papers in our hands and dark rings around our eyes, and that heap of relief as we finish our last exams and said our goodbyes to our friends and teachers merely 2 days ago. We overcame challenges, and here we are today, in our caps and gowns, poised and prepared for the challenges of the real world as we step out of the comforts of college education. But no matter where our accomplishments might bring us in the future, don't forget this moment right here, right now. Let's look to our classmates sitting to your left and right, thank them and wish them luck. The person sitting next to you might well be a future member of Congress, or maybe President of the United States, because the only person who won't be is right here standing on the stage. So do remember to keep in touch. SPPD is truly a place of diversity and intellect. It is an honor to have studied with all of you here, at a congregation of so many brilliant minds. It is also a privilege to be under the tutelage of some of the most outstanding professors and lecturers in the world, fostering an academic as well as a personal relationship with every student here today. Finally, on behalf of the graduates, I would like to sincerely thank our family and friends who join us for this special occasion today. Your unwavering support and encouragement over the past few years kept us going in the midst of our academic and personal challenges. So, thank you, congratulations, and fight on!
Thank you, Howard. Yesterday we had an awards ceremony in which we honored those students who had achieved academic excellence. At this time, I'd like to ask the award recipients to please stand, and let's recognize them as a group. Would the award recipients please stand? Now is the time to recognize the hard work of each and every one of the graduates. We will now call up each student individually and hand out the diploma covers. The diplomas are in the mail. They will arrive in about 4 to 6 weeks. Professor David Sloan, will you please come to the podium at this time?
Dean Knott, it's my pride and pleasure to present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning. Candidates, please rise.
Howard Foe. Joshua Ryder. Caitlin Kontag. Nikolai Masachi. Tina Chovanjian. Tamara Arakelian. Leah Savadian. Elliot Hamilton. Lauren Anthony Pollard. Amber Elizabeth Barrios. Kimberly Uyama. John Taylor Morin. Scott Yielding. Jasmine Varjavan. Shabran Kengaveri. Claire Feeney. Erica Dolcini. Stephen Starks. Anna Heckenlively. Andrew Clemens. Douglas Brown. Sean Leary. Vincencio Altamura. Jennifer So. Courtney Silver. Robin Yabitson. Elizabeth Toro. Emma Fish. Mary McCluggage. Austin Zahn. Nicholas Gray. Try Bourne. Michael Pappas. Yanina Campos. Jimmy Diaz. Patrick Whalen. Brian Lamb. Alyssa Stillman. Jose Rodriguez. Becca McKnight. Kara Murayama. Andrew Brown. Sean Inkelar Cruz. Janinda Gunawardene. Sean Fenler. Carlos Ramos. Eric Ong. Jost Gallardo. Justin Judah Kukshowi. Ira Silver. Robert Gordon. Armin Christopher Yasayan. Christopher Monasserian. Monique Eganley. Susie Kazarian. Chris Galippo. Ross Cumming. Marshall Jones, Jr. Derek Christopher Simmons. Kipman Barmeyer. Bryant Latapaya. Jordan Hershiser. Suzanne Gomez Sanchez. Abageli Chimbundo Noeka Awu. Brianna Morrison. Tyler Grady. William Hoskins. Jonathan James Conway. Denise Anne-Marie Myrie. William Alexander Stewart. Ahmad Rashad. Dejon Harris. Elisa Scannell. Sozette Ma. Tim McGuigan. Cecilia Shook-Page. Reese Milner. Haley Anderson. Jonathan Cathcart. Aaron Dan. Bertrand Perdomo Ukles. Tony Kawat. Daniel Alvarez. Matthew Kwan. Ivan Zhang. Iman Maleki. Chi Ming Kong. Jonathan Choi. Tyler Ellis. Bijan Salahi. Daniel Park. Lisa Quinn. Friskana Lee. Tyler McManigal. Joseph Gonzalez. Brian Edwards. Matthew Wolfram. Eric Diaz. Bruce Sheffield John. Andrew Fuentes. Spencer Sanchez. Jeremy Benlulu. Bin Choi. Kevin Kakshuri. Rodney Rodnia. Leora Amid. Joshua Corsandi. Janan El-Hanadi. Andrew Huffman. Stephanie Dowdy. Kaylee Engel. Zachary Rivas. Chanel Sierra Mataro. Nicholas Neiman. Lauren Asaki. Rachel Finfer. David Price. Gary Yao. Brett Geary. Mike McGlennon. Miles Deemer. Timon Amiri. Lauren Schaller. Miles Brewington. Pauline Martinez. Corrine Montana. Timothy Sattler. Nick Murillo. Kevin Gunderson. Paul Manley. Austin Dean Delana. Anthony Guardado. Rebecca May. Carmen Patricia Gomez. Alan Albert Gomez.
You don't get to see mother and son graduating on the same day that often. And also a round of applause to all of the graduates of the School of Policy, Planning, and Development. I would now like to invite, this is going to be a hard act to follow for Michael Lowe, but I'd like to invite Michael Lowe to the podium. Mike is a graduate of our school's Master of Public Administration program with a concentration in healthcare administration. He's currently the Senior Managing Director of the London Pacific and Partners, an international investment and management advisory company focused primarily in healthcare. He has worked as a corporate executive with private and publicly traded medical care organizations as well as major nonprofit healthcare organizations. He has directed numerous business acquisition, development, and strategic planning projects for healthcare both in the US, UK, Europe, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. He is a dedicated alumnus, an active member of our school's alumni board, and devotes many hours to mentoring and guiding our SPPD students. We are proud that he will be leading our Alumni Association as its incoming president. Please welcome Michael Lowe.
Thank you, Dean Knott. It's certainly a tough act to follow. But congratulations to all the graduates for reaching this achievement after years of hard work. And more importantly, kudos to the parents who are sitting in the audience with the relieved looks on their faces. You know, my son is a graduating high school senior who's about to begin his college career in the fall. And I will need to speak to you, the parents, to tell me how this feeling is today, how you feel. Okay. As the incoming president of SPPD Alumni Association Board, standing here is a wonderful sight. It's like seeing freshly minted alumni being rolled off the assembly line, and I welcome all of you as fellow alumni. During your years as an undergraduate at USC, I'm sure you found that the term Trojan family was much more than just an expression, but was continually demonstrated through school and alumni support in the forms of mentors, internships, guest speakers, career services, etc. Being a member of the Trojan family does not end here, but will last a lifetime, and the strength of the USC network will most likely be accessed by you time after time during the next stages of your career and your life. I have to tell you, one of the reasons why I applied to the master's program at USC many, many, many years ago was the university's reputation of having the stellar network, reach, and connections. To illustrate this point, a few years after my career after graduation, I accepted an assignment in Saudi Arabia as an on-site consultant to a number of my company's managed hospitals in the kingdom. So Joanna, my wife of about 1 month at the time, and I placed our meager possessions in storage, gave power of attorney, and forwarded all of our mail to my dad, and moved to a land where not only it took a visa to enter the country, but your passport was confiscated upon reaching the job site, and a separate visa was required just to leave the country. While there, your mail was at times open to check for objectionable materials if it was sent through the Saudi mail system. As a result, through a work colleague, I soon had access to a secure U.S. Army Post Office box, an APO, which was an extension of the U.S. Postal Service, and instructed my dad to forward all of my mail there. That way, I was able to receive my unadulterated issues of Sports Illustrated. Okay, so to summarize, all mail forwarded to my dad, who mailed what I needed to see to a U.S. APO box in Saudi Arabia, and all this was before email. Okay, so you get the picture. So in the 2 years that we were there, I only received one piece of mail sent directly to me through the Saudi mail system from the University of Southern California. Okay. Asking if I plan to contribute to the school's general fund again this year. Okay. To this day, I still don't know how the university found me, but that was the most impressive piece of mass mailing I've ever received. And that week, I called my dad, asking him to send a check to the university. Okay. But this network and reach is only as strong as the program, its students, and the support of the alumni. To the graduates out there, my fellow Trojans, please do not hesitate to seek out your fellow alumni and support at SPPD and at the university. More importantly, as you advance in your career, do not forget to give back. Participate in alumni events. Join the alumni board. Make sure to update your information on the websites, including LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay, attend homecoming, Guardian Awards, networking mixers, and so on. I can personally tell you that it's an investment that pays a pretty good return. Again, congratulations and fight on.
Okay, will everyone please stand? To the faculty and staff, proud parents, relatives and friends, I proudly present to you the School of Policy, Planning and Development class of 2011. Graduates, please move your tassels to the right side. Congratulations and good luck. Would you please remain seated for the recessional, and then please join us for a wonderful reception in Ralph and Goldie Lewis Hall, which is right to my left. We will have food and drink on the first and second floors, and we invite you to enjoy your time with your family and friends. Please remain seated while the recessional departs. Thank you. Thank you.